Hello everyone and welcome to another MAGA cope stream. How's everyone doing? I'm in an excellent mood. I haven't been dooming for like 48 hours. It's been incredible. How are you all doing? I'm still riding the Biden dropping out high. How's everyone doing? Hopefully good. Let's see what's going on in chat and then we'll get going. Let's see. Paradona with 100 bits says, yay, more MAGA tears. I know, I'm excited too. Andrabla, thanks for 19 months. Annie Kai says, I can't tell if I'm genuinely reassured because Kamala rather, seems fine and like a pretty okay candidate, or if my anxiety has gotten so high that I somehow found the variable limit, overloaded it, and I'm just feeling better as an error. It's the first one! Don't worry! Fenekagami with 40 bits says, has anyone else noticed that the most consistent insult the right is leveraging against us is that we wanted Joe to drop out so we could win the election? Like, what do they think the dig here is? Are they so in a cult that they are mad we made a move that someone with strategy would and not a move someone in a cult would? Yes! They're very confused! We are on a hype train and just got over level 1. Thank you, everyone. Daima Oni-chan, thanks for 29 months, says, they're already resorting to some mutant form of birtherism. Miss Harris was born in San Francisco, but to non-citizen parents. She herself is a natural-born citizen, however. It's kinda hilarious. Oh, they're desperate. They're desperately grasping at straws. They're looking for anything that'll stick. It's incredible. I'm loving it so far. The most I've seen is like, she said she was in favor of paper straws? Oh, awesome, Mr. Blast. I'm glad the remote came. Halloween Town, thanks for a 3-stream streak, says, yay, glad you're not dooming. Me too. Jules Kurzler, thanks for a 31 months and a 14-month streak. Fenekagami says, cheers for coconut trees. I'm enjoying the coconut memes. Let's meme this lady into the White House. Why not? We can demonstrate against her if we need to later. But for the time being, I've taken the coconut pill. Fenekagami says, cheers for the coconut trees. Cocaine Dogman says, our favorite witch, looking good, bitch. That rhymes. It does indeed. Big Dick Energy says, did you get my letter at your P.O. box? It was a manila envelope I've held on to for years. I found it at my workplace. It's a letter that was written by a clearly mentally unwell person. This one? We're doing a P.O. unboxing today. Fun fact, I got some stuff, so we're gonna do that. Holy shit, Sassy P with a $100 super chat says, here for the coconuts. Thank you so much, that's so generous. I will add that to the costume month goal at the end of stream today, so there's an extra 100 on there. Appreciate you, Sassy P, and your generosity. That's incredible. Social Warlock Trey says, hey Hannah, great news. We have a candidate that was born within 50 years of us. I know! Isn't it nice? Moira Soma with a 39 months says, yay! I'm glad everyone has energy today. This is nice, isn't it? This is so good! Overthought with 100 bits says, just happy for once it finally seems like the left is unifying around Kamala. We can resume our infighting after November. For now, we unite. Agreed. There is no room for petty squabbling for the next, like, 6 months. After that, we can all fight each other in a Thunderdome. Okay? But for now, get coconut pilled, bitch. Captain Squid with 100 bits says, my big fear was that Democrats would split in a dozen directions and end up throwing the election, but surprisingly everyone's on board so far. I know, it's incredible! It's incredible! Don't squander this! We can do it! Nemesaur, thank you for gifting 20 tier 1 subs. Incredible generosity as always from you. Thank you so much for all you've given to the channel, to me, and chat by letting them skip ads. H. Baird with 100 bits says, lots of people are floating Mark Kelly as a potential VP. I think she should choose her twin brother Scott just to screw with people. Mark Kelly wouldn't be bad. People like an astronaut. And he's from Arizona, right? That's a state that's up in play, so that would be beneficial. Makes sense. Amber Pretzels says, good news, everyone. They finally hired someone to help with closing. That's excellent. That seems like a pain to do without an extra person. Halloween Town, or rather, Mr. Duck Sauce with a 7-stream streak says, I have energy and patience. Social Warlock Trey, thank you for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Appreciate ya. Mossloth with a 3 stream streak says, the weather here is super crummy, so I'm ready to be cozy and gay with chat and laugh at MAGA. Good. It's gonna be good. I'll actually, you know what, I'll do this, since we're gonna do a PO unboxing real quick. Oh, that didn't work. That's kind of funny. Let me see if I can get that to work correctly. Okay, apparently that one doesn't want to work, so I can't do the full face cam right now. Don't know why it's not working. She got pilled. Puka, thanks for 300 bits. Appreciate it. We are 28% to level 7. This is the highest hype train we've had in a while. Thank you, everyone. I know we're all excited. I'm very happy. Thank you. So let's start getting into some of this P.O. Box stuff, and then when that's done, we will jump right into the MAGA Cope. Who turned off the lights? I understood that reference. Everyone vote, please. Everyone vote. How about John Tester for VP? Kamala needs to court fearful white males with a Midwestern Southern white male dem. Is that the Kentucky guy? Because that's also strategically probably pretty sound. So this is the envelope. It's like a letter from a conspiracy theorist or something. Andy Bashir is the Kentucky guy? Okay. Oh, he's the Montana guy then. Okay. Dear Hannah, hello, my name is blank. I'm not going to say it out loud unless you care to bring it up. I first discovered you right at the end of the TBR, and I've been watching you since you started on Twitch. You're my favorite Twitch streamer. Enclosed with my letter is a package that came into my possession around 2010 when I worked at a local television news station. The news desk received it, and eventually it ended up in the hands of one of our producers. She was going to throw it away, so I asked if I could have it. I found it fascinating and kind of a work of art, but it was obviously created by an unwell mind. I've held onto it for years, not knowing what to do with it. When I heard about your P.O. box, I figured that if anyone would appreciate this, it would be you. I hope you find it interesting as I did. Take care. Blank in Arizona. Well, thank you so much. I'll call you Jay. How about that? Thank you, Jay. Oh my goodness. And look at this. We might have to go over this tomorrow on Tinfoil Tuesday. Oh boy. This is something. Satan, Jesus, and there's all sorts of stuff. The whole back. National Pants. Universal Journalist Broadcast Dream Team. And then it's literally just an incredible list of people. Did I hear about the hoax tweet for Trump regrowing his ear? No, I didn't. I'll have to check that out for tomorrow. That's certainly something. PollyU333, thank you for 36 months, says, 'tis a baby, it is. This baby's name is gonna be Coconut Jones! Coconut Jones. 39% to level 7 with a minute left on the hype train. I'm just gonna take a cursory look at this letter. Oh, there's pictures of guns in here. Oh, no. Oh, no. If anyone else has, letters from mentally ill people like this, I would honestly like them. I know that sounds weird, but I find this kind of thing fascinating. So if you have any really weird letters you've received at work or something that are very conspiratorial, feel free to send them to the P.O. Box. I love stuff like this. So yes, I appreciate it, and thank you for sending this. Alright, put that over there for tomorrow. Can I scan them and post them to Discord? I don't have a scanner. I could use my phone to take pictures, which I'll probably have to do for tomorrow's stream anyway. There's another letter. This is from Royal Anne, who was wonderful enough with her partner to send me the computer that I'm using to stream right now. So the stream would not be going half as well if it wasn't for Royal Anne and Royal Anne's partner. Thank you for that. Let's see, what's this? There's a card. It says, you, 98% awesome, 2% awesome, but in blue. Oh. It says, awesome, thanks so much, Royal Anne and Green Man. And there's a rainbow heart, and then there's a bunch of stickers. They're very cute kitty stickers and puppy stickers, so thank you. And then there's a little envelope here. Probably more stickers or something. Oh, it's a little necklace of some kind. Oh, it's a Freddy Krueger. This is so cute. I'm gonna wear this when I do, well, A, I'm gonna wear this out in real life because it's cute. But secondly, I'm also gonna wear this with my Femi Krueger outfit. Thank you. That's adorable. I love it. It's a little enamel Freddy. Is sending me spirit science emails count? No, don't send me spam emails. That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Royal Ann and Green Man. I appreciate you and the support you've given to the show and me, so thank you so much. Go ahead and put this over here. We have a big box, and then I think we're done with the PO unboxing, and we'll get to the MAGA coat. This box, I will open with a box cutter. Jingling, like there's a bell in here. Moira Soma with 1,000 bits says, Buttigieg, I never know how to pronounce his name. Buttigieg. That man can calmly tell facts like MTG can spew unhinged nonsense. I think the better move here is to have Kamala, I keep doing that, I apologize. Feel free to correct me every time I fuck that up until I stop. I think Kamala would be better served with, a different VP and then appoint Pete somewhere in the cabinet, and then after she's done with either 1 or 2 terms, he could run in 4 or 8 years. Yeah, I think it's a bad choice for this particular ticket. So I think he'd be better off running in the future and continuing to get experience in Kamala's cabinet. But that's just how I feel about it. So. Cute. Oh! I don't know if there's a note with this, but there's a cat toy, which I'm sure our kitties will appreciate. I think this is some nail polish, some purple. It's a nice color, which I'll probably put on later because mine is already chipped and stuff and I've needed to change it, so thank you. That almost perfectly matches this. It's like, that's spot on. That's incredible. That's a good match visually. If you intentionally did this based on this, that's like a pretty fucking spot-on match considering you're looking through a camera in a stream. A good job there. A cool little cup with some faces on it, like some tiki faces. And then like a ball of yarn. Just a cute ball of yarn. Thank you. I appreciate it. There wasn't a note with this, but whoever sent this, thank you very much. Profane Priestess with 100 stream streak. Wow. Says, fun fact, Kamala, she snubbed Netanyahu's state visit, and multiple sources within the administration have voiced the opinion that she's less entrenched in the pro-Israel position than Joe. Link for citation. Oh, fuck yes. Rainy, thanks for a 3-stream streak. How's it going? Alright. PO boxing complete. Thank you, everyone, for sending things. The P.O. Box is still open. If anyone wants to send me anything in the future, just use the P.O. Box command, ! P.O. Box. And with that out of the way, we can get into the topic of the day. And that is, of course, MAGA cope, as they are pretty upset about the change of plans. Let's get into it, shall we? I think we're going to start with Ben Shapiro? Ben Shapiro. This was his initial reaction just to Joe dropping out. I don't believe this was by the time Kamala, or Kamala rather. Again, I apologize, I keep doing that. And this was not, this was before Kamala was endorsed by Joe. And Freyline says, meant to add bits. Buttigieg. Thank you. Bot's still down? I will fix that right now, before we even get started. For some reason, the bot turns off sometimes, and I just need to turn it off and on again. Don't know why. It's just one of those things. Weird tech bullshit I don't understand. Bot. Yep, turned himself off. Turn back on, whore. There we go. The whore bot's back. Alright. We can get into it now. Pause the music. And here we go. Let's see what Ben Shapiro had to say.
Alrighty, folks, so breaking news, huge news. Joe Biden is out. He has now announced he is out. I was doubtful, I'll be honest with you, because he's a very, very stubborn man, and he does not like being pushed out. But with the new polls that have emerged over
Apparently not as stubborn as you thought.
the weekend showing him down 7.
I'm not saying that it was strategic, because that's conspiratorial, and I'm not going to do that. probably just convenient timing, but I do think the fact that Biden dropping got announced directly like a day after the end of the RNC is kind of brilliant, even if it's accidental. It completely changes the news cycle. No one's talking about the RNC or Trump. They're talking about Kamala and her potential VP picks and all of this stuff. So, it's interesting.
In Michigan, showing him down nationally, widely, probably going to lose the Electoral College by 100 votes, losing Virginia.
It's so funny that he even brings up Electoral College, knowing that he still probably would have won the popular vote. We have a very stupid system for presidential elections.
Losing maybe Minnesota, competitive in New Jersey. Apparently, he had no other choice. The donors came to him, the Obamas came to him, everybody came to him, and he is out. A little bit earlier today, just a few minutes ago, he released a statement via Twitter, which again demonstrates where things are at. You would figure that he would do a sort of farewell press conference. He's not.
He said he's going to this week. This week he's going to do something. I don't know what day, but he said in his like farewell message, like, I'll address the nation next week.
Not retiring from.
It's like he has COVID. I think he still has COVID. Stephen J. Neptune Man says, is this video 1.5 speed? Oh wait, that's just how he talks. Yep. Just Ben. Being Ben. JD Vance is a freaking weirdo. Kamala could pick a busted toaster as her running mate and he'd get smoked in a debate. Oh yeah, that's gonna be good.
The presidency itself, he is only saying that he is not going to run, which...
Did I see Trump complaining that they spent a load of money and time fighting Biden and how they're against Kamala, or against Kamala, they don't have anything? I did. We're gonna look at some of Trump's, posts since this happened a little later, because he is fuming. I mean, I know Trump, that's not abnormal for him, but, like, he seems genuinely upset. Which I get a little bit of enjoyment out of, whatever that German word is for feeling good about someone else being in pain. Feeling that a little bit for Trump, but, you know.
Which leaves open a massive question as to why exactly he is qualified to continue running the country right now, but he is not qualified to continue running for the nomination of the Democratic Party. Here's...
Sure, okay, so his presidency is for the next 6 months, but if he won the election, he'd be president for 4 more years. Which is longer than 6 months. Glad I could answer that question for you, Ben.
The letter that he just wrote, quote, my fellow Americans, over the past 3.5 years, we've made great progress as a nation. Today, America has the strongest economy in the world. We've made historic investments.
I do find it funny, too, that that's basically all they have at this point. I've heard several of them be like, Joe should resign right now. And it's like, even if he did, what's the point? Are they just trying to pull Kamala away so she would have presidential duties right now, so she would have less time to campaign? Like, that's the only thing I can think of as to why they would even want that. Or they're just, like, throwing a temper tantrum broadly because they're upset. So funny.
In rebuilding our nation, in lowering prescription drug costs for seniors, and in expanding affordable health care to a record number of Americans. We've provided critically needed care to 1 million veterans exposed to toxic substances, passed the first gun safety law in 30 years, appointed the first African-American woman to the Supreme Court, and passed the most significant climate legislation in the history of the world.
And her laugh. It's so funny. The video that they put together of her laughing for like 2 minutes, like, yeah, she's kind of like a dorky aunt. I would kill for a dorky aunt for president right now, considering what we've had the last, like, again, I don't hate Biden. He's a bad candidate, but I don't hate what he's done necessarily outside of his positions on Israel and stuff. And I also recognize that his position on Israel is in part due to the historical inertia of America's involvement in Israel. So on some level, I get the, like, political strings being pulled and, like, how he can't just do whatever he wants, even if he had a very progressive stance, which, frankly, I don't think he does. But, regardless, I will be very happy if Kamala wins, that we get basically someone I'm not afraid is going to either launch nukes or fall over dead any day. That'll be nice. It'll be calm, you know? Skiffizoa says he didn't drop out because he's not qualified. He dropped out because everyone and their mother asked him to, right? Even Republicans asked him to. They got what they wanted. They caught the car. Now what? Stone Corbell says, I feel like if they made Joe quit now and put Kamala as president, that would just make her more powerful because you'd get however many months of President Kamala Harris, right? I don't even know if they're thinking it through. They're just, like, trying to do anything. Rohan, thank you for 35 months.
America has never been better positioned to lead than we are today, which, of course, none of that is true, which is why he has a 32% approval rating, which is...
Have you considered that none of that is true, Biden? None of that is true, of course. Obviously, logically,
Really why he's leaving. Let's be real about this. He's not leaving because he's senile. He's leaving because he's losing. He continues, quote, "I know none of this could have been done without you, the American..."
But all of you people said he was senile, and that's why he was losing. So you should be happy, right?
people. Together, we overcame a once-in-a-century pandemic and the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. We've protected and preserved our democracy. We revitalized and strengthened...
Vito Spank with 29 months says this dweeb has never seen vagina that isn't full of dust and cobwebs.
...our allies around the world. It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve...
Shenanigans creative. The memes are all around and no one is interpreting it that way, so I think it's probably fine. Benekagami says, do they not understand that when you run for president, you're promising to be president for 4 years? Like, if Joe knows he can't last another 4 years, he'd be running on false pretenses. Their worldview is even more miserable than online leftists. I know, it's incredible!
...as your president, and while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision. For now, let me express my deepest gratitude to all those who have worked so hard to see me re-elected. I want to thank Vice President Kamala Harris for being an extraordinary partner in all this work, and let me express my heartfelt appreciation to the American people for the faith and trust you have placed in me. I believe today what I always have. There's nothing America can't do. When we do it together, we just have to remember we are the United States of America. Anyway.
Again, they're making fun of him, so, like, you should be happy that he's not running, right? They just can't help themselves. They don't even know what to do. In this moment, he's, like, making fun of his mental acuity while he's dropping out. Think about that for a second, and how nonsensical it is. He's in the joke, basically expressing why it's a good idea for him to drop out, but still upset about it? H. Baird says, to be fair, Joe resigning would be a real dark Brandon move since all the stuff Trump printed out with 47 on it would be worthless.
Anyway.
That's pretty true.
Anyway. So, he's out. Well, there are two things that letter does not say. One, I'm throwing all of my delegates to Kamala Harris.
Shortly after this, he did.
He does not say that. He does not.
He did after this, like 10 minutes later. I don't remember exactly how long. It was not long after. It was within the hour. If I'm being generous with the 15 minutes or whatever, it was within the hour that he had done that.
Not say Kamala Harris will make a fine nominee for our party.
Again, within the hour, he had done that. He did a whole separate tweet about it.
And she should be the person who picks up the mantle. He does not, in fact, pass the torch to his vice president. The only thing he says is it's my honor to serve with Kamala Harris, but he doesn't say anything beyond that. That is a glaring omission. The other thing that it pretty clearly says is that he is going to stay as president of the United States, which opens up an entire line of attack on anyone, including Kamala Harris, who doesn't push him out right now. Let's say that you're Kamala Harris, and let's say that you're consolidating support inside the Democratic Party, which behind the scenes, apparently, you have been doing. There are a bunch of factors militating in favor of her becoming the new nominee. One of them is that Joe Biden's campaign, the Biden-Harris campaign, has like $100 million in the bank. That money basically gets locked up unless Harris is the actual nominee who can pick up the baton. Not only that...
She is. So far, she's completely picked it up. I've not really seen anyone else try and even do a token, throw their hat in the ring. Pretty much seems like everyone's on board with Kamala.
Kamala Harris also has the support of people like James Clyburn. Obviously, a big part of the Democratic voter base are Black Americans. Black Americans supposedly like Kamala Harris. I'm not sure where that data is coming from, but that is seen...
Like, what's even that remark? What does he mean by that? What's that remark? He just is incredulous about it? Why?
As a sort of insuperable obstacle for Democrats in nominating anyone else. Also, it creates a line of...
Oh, did Manchin? Of course he did. Did he want to re-become a Democrat to run? What a fucking loser. That guy's such an asshole.
Continuity. But that is actually the problem for the Democrats. A line of continuity with Joe Biden.
Everything's got to be about him. If he can try and get a headline, douchebag,
is really bad for them. All the attacks that have been leveraged against Joe Biden can now be leveraged against Kamala Harris.
Such as? She's old? No? Oh, okay. Cool.
Because he's not stepping down from the presidency, the question is going to be to Kamala Harris, you know he's too senile to be president of the United States.
But the letter didn't say that. The letter didn't say that.
Why don't you 25th Amendment him? Why don't you push him out? And she won't. She won't. Because if she tried to, then he would fight back on that. Because that would be a full disgrace. He'd be the first president ever to have the 25th Amendment invoked on him.
I don't really think there's any reason to do that. Just like, it's 6 more months, Ben. It's fine. He's fine? Demi Bird does with a 3-stream streak says, more like womantle, am I right? I'll be here all night. Benikagami with 40 bits says, the truth is, deep down, a lot of these people believe Trump can't beat a candidate that isn't Biden. It's easy to forget that our existential dread over Joe was the result of a 5-year propaganda campaign from the right that just came to fruition after the debate. They're terrified that they can't build momentum against Kamala, and I think that that's a valid fear. I think that they fucked up. I think they overplayed their hand. I think if Joe had stayed in the race, there's a decent chance that, like, Trump had a shot. And maybe he still does. I'm not going to discount him. But it got a whole lot harder for him. And the right got exactly what they wanted, in theory. But in reality, they didn't want that because they knew that Joe was easy to beat, relatively speaking. Not saying he definitely would have lost. We'll never know now. But certainly coulda.
If that were going to be a
Big Dick Energy with a link says, a tip for Biden. Review and demo of a Philips nose, ear, and eyebrow trimmer. Is that the correct link? Does he need an eyebrow trimmer? Oh, for Ben. For Ben. Sorry, I said Biden, didn't I?
thing that actually happens. She's not going to do that. So she's now stuck between a rock and a hard place if she's the nominee. On the one hand, she doesn't want to be answerable for everything that Biden is doing. On the other hand, she can't actually control the government. She can't actually control anything.
Yeah, it's a pretty good spot for her. She doesn't have to take blame for shit. Beautiful. Screaming at the Radio says, I guess they're especially mad now that the arguments they were using until now against Biden, age and mental health, cannot be used against Kamala, but can absolutely be used against Trump. Oh, I am going to be obnoxious about pointing out Trump's age now, and all of you should be too. Everyone needs to be obnoxious and do the same shit Republicans did for the last year or two about Biden, but about Trump. Especially around your Republican relatives or friends, if you have any. Bring it up. Wow, isn't Trump so old? Why are you voting for someone so old? He's the oldest presidential candidate in history. Why are you voting for someone so old? Be annoying about it. Be incredibly annoying about it. H-Bird sends politics is about to get a whole lot more racist and sexist. Here's a tip. Be prepared to explain to people why a given talking point is bigoted. A lot of people legitimately don't understand dog whistles or other charged language and will be receptive if you explain it nicely. Yes, I've seen the DEI candidate thing many times. We need to make sure that that talking point is toxic and everyone who hears it knows that that person is a racist piece of shit. Captain Squid with 100 bits says, a call to be obnoxious, you didn't even have to ask. Oh, I know.
And so the way things currently sit, she is an extraordinarily vulnerable candidate. Now, there have been a lot of talks about whether there's an open convention, whether there's some sort of shortened primary process where the Democrats all go at it. The problem is, who is ready to pick up the mantle? It can't be Gavin Newsom. Like, if you're Gavin Newsom, do you want in on this race? In this vulnerable position, is this where you want to be? If you're Gretchen Whitmer, maybe you want in because you think you'll do better in Michigan than Joe Biden. But are you going to be able to consolidate the party that quickly?
That's actually a really good comparison. Myri Ren says Biden basically did the illusion thing Luke Skywalker does at the end of Last Jedi and baited the RNC into wasting all their ammo on him before vanishing. It's true. And now Biden's part of the Force. So midichlorians will eat him or something. I don't know how that works.
And if it consolidates behind Kamala, do you want to be Kamala Harris's VP? Is that something?
There's one of these people in YouTube chat saying the DEI thing. This is fucking perfect. These idiots are gonna keep saying this racist shit and show all the people in the middle, whatever that even means anymore, the kind of person they are. Don't ban this person, mods. I want to see this person so I can use them as an example of all the stupid mistakes people on the right are gonna make for the next 6 months. This is incredible. I knew this shit was gonna happen. Darla Hayes. Keep doing it. Keep doing that, Darla. Do it. Keep saying it. That'll go well for Trump.
Josh Shapiro is going to give up on? Or are you going to wait this one out, watch Kamala Harris go down in flames, and then bank on 2028? This is a total mess for the Democratic Party. It also, on the Republican side of the aisle, throws everything into complete conflict and turmoil, obviously, because the reality is that the entire Republican campaign has been centered for the past month and a half, 2 months, on Joe Biden's senility. That is no longer going to be the chief issue on the ballot. Now, there will be a secondary issue, which is the fact you can't trust Democrats who lied about this thing for years on end. That will be a very serious issue going forward. It will also be a very serious issue, obviously, when it comes to Kamala Harris, who's sitting in the meetings with him and should have known all of this. But the entire playbook is going to have to be shifted now.
Yeah, this is the most united I've seen Democrats in quite a while. The Democrats in disarray thing is hilarious.
A new candidate. If it's Kamala, then there's plenty to attack her on. Again, go watch our series, Scamala. It is the 3-part series
Scamala?
On Kamala Harris at Daily Wire Plus right now. Remember,
oh, you gotta go pay for it. Lovely. Good research.
Subscriptions 47% off with promo code FIGHT. You need to know everything you need to know.
Promo code FIGHT. Benikagami says it's hilarious how much the modern right getting what they want is consistently the worst thing for them, isn't it? Trump's an albatross for the Republicans. Roe has been devastating in elections. They took 15 votes to get a speaker. Now Biden. It's like the right's its own worst enemy. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly the truth.
No, about Kamala, because she's very likely to be the next nominee. But Republicans are going to have to direct all of their political firepower at the Democratic positions. They're going to have to go back to Joe Biden being a bad president, the White House being a bad White House. All of the race just got upended. The entire race just got upended. We'll keep bringing you updates as they break.
Thanks, Ben. Ben's doing great. All right, let's see what we're going to do next. Oh, God. I have a few that are kind of conspiracy videos, too, because you all know my proclivity for conspiracy videos, because I find them quite funny. Oh, that was the wrong link, sorry. One we just watched. Now let's try this one.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to a brand new Monday. Hope you're all doing well. And this make-believe...
See? The Darla person's doing the thing again. They're doing the, oh, she sucked dick thing. It's just racism and sexism. It's all they fucking have. It's so funny.
Circus.
Darla, think about your life and your beliefs and how everything you believe comes out of fucking Fox News and how sad that is. This is pathetic. This is goddamn pathetic.
All these things that they prop up on here, an illusion of everything.
I love that it's a Pepe, too. That's how you know he's a quality streamer.
Right. So, something I saw a while
It's like they're a stereotype.
ago.
Weird.
And I don't know if a lot of people have seen this. It's the whole Simpson-Harris predictive programming.
Lisa Simpson woman, Kamala or Kamala woman, must be same.
Lisa Simpson, this episode, I believe, took place in 2000, right? A lot of predictive programming around the Simpsons because Matt Groening is a Freemason.
Okay, if it's not Fox News, Darla, it's One America News or whatever stupid place you get it. Facebook, you know what I mean.
33-degree Freemason. They tell you what they're going to do, and that's all it is, right? And in this clip, and the comments are also disabled on YouTube, so go figure that. You know, they don't want people to know the truth, guys. Everything is legit. That's why they suppress speech and everything else.
I can't comment on this Simpsons YouTube video. My First Amendment's being violated.
Because they love people so much, right? So, on here, Lisa clearly is Kamala Harris, right? Kamala Harris, guys, purple suit, pearls, and all that other stuff.
Who wears purple suits? Who wears pearls? Ridiculous.
The red and blue make purple. So, that's why Lisa Simpson is in the Oval Office. That's why it says we inherited we inherited a huge budget crunch from President Trump.
Yeah, that was a joke. because Trump had already run for president in the Reform Party in the 2000 election. He had run for president before. So the joke was, haha, what if he eventually did become president? And then life became the joke.
And clear
Absolute disgrace, thanks for 17 months. I'm not sure if I mentioned that.
as day right there. You can't make this up. And then they say, oh, we're broke. And then if you look on the Economist magazine, on one of the magazine subscriptions from last year, I believe it was, where all like the pound symbol, the Freemason dollar, and a lot of these other currencies all just plummet, right? And you go, oh, okay, so I see where they're going with this.
Fenigagami says, Darla, keep it up. You're going to remind 86 million people why they hated the Trump presidency. Don't forget my bits. Sorry, Fenigagami. Let me go up and find them. Said Kamala has been in the race for 2 days and has already earned her campaign 70 million in small donations. Yeah, we're real divided, idiots. I think it's up to 82 million, and that's just in the small donations. The bigger PACs, the bigger super PACs have raised more than that, I believe. So, going good.
I see where they're totally going with this, right? There's predictive programming and all this 9/11 stuff, and they blame
Of course he brings up 9/11.
it on other countries and stuff. And that's why Tower 7 fell, because it was bored one day. You know, a lot of other
Or other buildings fell on it, whatever, one of those things.
things. You know, there's predictive programming around the whole
KSO says Biden's timing of stepping down was really good from a strategic perspective, even though the buildup was painful as hell. Oh, I agree. I agree. Honestly, you can have problems with Biden, and I do too, but I do respect that he stepped down. Like, it may have taken longer than it should have, and he should have planned better, but at the end of the day, he did it. So even though I might be like, you probably should have done it sooner, I respect that he did it. And I think regardless of your feelings otherwise about Joe Biden, I think you should be able to look at that particular action and go, hey, that's good. Could have been worse. Could have been a Ruth Bader Ginsburg situation, you know? No. Steve with the Q says, my favorite stat I heard is Kamala grossed more than Twisters over the weekend. Yeah, Twisters made like a bunch of money, didn't it? Made like $80 million. I was shocked. And I like movies. You all know I'm a movie person. I like the first Twister movie, but I didn't know it had that big of like a legacy that people give a shit about a Twisters sequel. Weird.
New World Order tower, you know, the One World Tower, you know.
Oh my God. Are you
with
going to
that,
talk
with
about it?
planes.
Or are you
You're
just going to
like,
get into
people,
weird
Trump,
9/11?
You know, been doing good deeds everywhere else. Oh yeah, they're so popular, guys. They're just random people. No, they're not. That's a whole nother topic at hand. You can see it a mile away, you know. But it's just what it is. This place is fake. You just don't get worked up into it. You turn off the box.
Okay, I'm done with weird conspiracy guy. Let's get on to more Republicans. I like all the people who were saying, here's a sticks and hammer. We haven't covered sticks and hammer in a while. This was again when Biden had dropped out, but before Kamala had been endorsed and became the clear frontrunner, became the clear nominee, quite frankly. And here's Sticks being like, prepare for chaos at the DNC, even though everyone's behind Kamala so far. MH Darkbeast says, talk about predictive programming. And there's a link. On the first anniversary of the Barbie movie, this can only mean one thing. I'm gonna be honest, I told Baja about this, and this is my lib posting moment. I've actually been, not doom-pilled, like the last day or so, so I'm pretty close to lib posting in my mind. It's embarrassing, because I have a little bit of hope. Anyway, my lib post was, if Kamala becomes the president and they ever do a Barbie 2, Kamala needs to be in Barbie 2 as a cameo, right? Like, I just feel like, symbolically, the first woman president being in a Barbie movie would be pretty dope. Anyway, there's my lib post sent. Barbie can meet the president. I don't know. What did I think of Vance's Diet Mountain Dew joke from the other day? I didn't hear it.
All right, everyone. Joe is indeed out of the race.
Wasn't Barbie filmed in the UK? Second units are a thing, so they would probably go to the White House and film a thing. Because, like, when Obama was president, he appeared in a few things, like Between Two Ferns. They went to the White House and filmed some stuff. So, it would be doable. They would just have to block off an hour or two.
Will be a caretaker president for the coming months, which is a pretty bad scenario for the Democrats because they might end up with a brokered convention. That's going to be a cannibalistic orgy, a fucking bloodbath, unless Kamala decides to step forward and simply assert herself.
Uh-oh! Not only did she not have to do that, but everyone got behind her immediately, Sticks. I guess you're not very good at predicting the behavior of Democrats.
In which case, Kamala Harris is the Democratic nominee. We're going to read his post. This
Benigagami says, I think Joe's gonna feel better about the decision as time goes on. One, I think the decline may have partly been stress. Two, everyone is so positive now and he's gonna see that old man shit turned on Trump, which has to feel great for him. I know he's likely feeling humiliated, but he's gonna feel better. I hope so. Oh yeah, this aged like milk. Darla, can I ask you a question? Why do you want a rapist and a potential pedophile to be the president? Because that's, like, not cool, man.
This is in the last hour, verbatim, actually. My fellow Americans, this is from the official Joe Biden Twitter account. You can you look it up for yourself. I'll link in the description. Over the
Have fun, Darla.
past 3.5 years, we have made great progress as a nation. Today, America has the strongest economy in the
Biden called into the campaign HQ earlier and he already sounds better. Take a listen.
Into President Biden calling into this campaign event.
But this COVID obviously has kept me out of people's hair for the next 3 or 4 days. But I'm going to be on the road, and I'm not going anywhere. It's kept me away a little bit, but you know, I want people to remember that what we have done has been incredible, and we get so much more we're going to get done. And so I want to say hello to
Psychotropic Thunder, thanks for 36 months. This sub-baby's name is gonna be... Brian Monroe. Brian Monroe.
Kamala.
Yeah, he still sounds rough. He has COVID or he's recovering from it.
She can hear me. I know she's going to be speaking shortly. And I want to say to the team, embrace her. She's the best. I want to call today to thank everybody in this effort. I know yesterday's news was surprising and it was hard for you to hear, but it was the right thing to do. I know it's hard because you poured your heart and soul into me to help us win this thing, help me get this nomination, help me win the nomination, and then go on to win the presidency.
Darla, you can just say cunt on the internet, you know. You can just type cunt. It'll save you letters. Enjoy voting for a pedophile, you goddamn creep. Alright, let's see. There was a tip. Green guy with a $5 tip says, Hannah, imagine all the merch MAGA people bought at RNC that had fuck Biden and now it's worthless. Vendors bought merch to sell, now worthless. Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful thing.
But, you know, you're an amazing team, but we've got a great, I think we made the right decision. I know how hard you've worked, how many sacrifices you made, and so many of you uprooted your lives for me, and the kind of commitment few people make for anything these days, but you made it. And I've been honored and humbled. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. My word is a Biden, that for all you've done for me and my family. And we built the best campaign in organization in history. I've been doing this, I always kid and say, I know I'm only 40, but I've been around a long time.
He does sound better, so that's good. I'm glad he's doing better. Mage Dark Beast says, so I was highly amused by this, and there's a few links. His rival for leadership dropped out after concerns about his age. He survived an assassination attempt unharmed besides clearly visible injury. He somehow came back when most of us assumed he was long gone. He's heavily suspected of attempting to artificially manipulate the voting process in his favor. But enough about Sheev Palpatine from Star Wars. What's happening in US politics? There's a second link.
in the name of the Galactic Senate of the Republic, you're under.
Are you threatening me, Master?
It will decide your fate.
I am the Senate.
Not yet.
Dillis Filler says, I'd call that person a cunt, but they lack the warmth and depth. Ba-doom boom. Profane Priestess says, allow me to present you a vision of a potential future. Clears throat for my Rod Serling impression. Imagine, if you will, that the titanic mountain of salt from one Hillary Clinton, if she is not first woman elected, and two, from Trumpists when he loses to a black woman who is the child of immigrants. Imagine further that she leverages her incumbency in 28, 12 years of GOP defeat. Oh, I read that. And then finally, Baja with a link. Look, and then we'll get back to Sticks. My Let's Go Brandon merch. It's worthless. Worthless. Okay, that's good.
The world. Just a joke. We've made historic investments in rebuilding our nation, in lowering prescription drug costs for seniors, and in expanding affordable health care to a record number of Americans. We've provided critically needed care to 1 million veterans exposed to toxic...
I'm going to skip the letter because we already heard Ben read it, and I read it yesterday.
America has never... in the democracy has been the... This is just political fluff. I mean, most of it's not...
I mean, sure. It's politics. There's going to be fluff. Stephen J. Neptune Man says, Trump is a at Mar-a-Lago going, you mean to tell me I brought over Hulk Hogan and Kid Rock for someone I'm not even competing against now? All that money was for nothing?
Not even true, but whatever. It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. And while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision. Wow. Well, if this last couple of weeks wasn't already crazy enough, I think that this puts the icing on the fucking cake. Maybe this is the cherries on top. There were always three possibilities. Biden would run. He probably loses. Biden stands down and you know, somebody else runs. Or Biden outright resigns. It looks like he's taking that middle path. The problem is the Democrats now have something they have to explain to the people of the country.
I don't think it's that hard to explain. He's not going to run, so his vice president's going to run instead. Boom, explained. Lennon Cat says, if anyone is on the fence about Kamala, just imagine how mad it'll make Apartheid Clyde to have a black woman in charge. Let spite guide your vote.
If Joe Biden is incapable of running for re-election, and he's probably going to have to...
He's not capable of being president for the next 4 years. That doesn't mean he's not capable of being the president right now.
His medical incapacity is the reason.
Also, he literally has a whole cabinet. I'm not really worried about it.
And otherwise, you've just ceded 3 fucking states. How is he capable of governing on his way out?
You just saw someone in Twitch saying Styx is in a socialist country. Where does he live? Democratic socialist. I don't remember where, but it's some Nordic country or something. What country has Amsterdam in it? Maybe it's that one. I don't remember. Either way, it's got, you know, universal health care and social safety nets and shit. He moved out of the country, so the fact that he has any opinions is hilarious on this stuff. Netherlands, thank you.
Out for the next few months. Is our country really better off for that? I mean, there's still, you know, about 4 months left till the election. Having somebody with medical incapacity running the show doesn't sound like a great idea.
It's incredible to me. He's not even trying to talk about the election right now. He's literally trying to concern troll over the next, 6 months. Wow. This was a really good strategic move. They are flailing.
And then, of course, the Democrats have the ignominious position where they have to choose who's going to replace him.
Done. It was done within an hour.
Brokered convention, just mint Kamala, ignore the will of the voters.
There was no primary. Joe was the incumbent. So there was no primary for the Democrats.
Yeah, that's, by the way, they're the pro-democracy party.
They're so fucking salty. Sweaty, we're a republic? Haven't you heard?
By the way. This is absolutely insane. This is, again, this is in the last, as I'm making this video, the last fucking 30 minutes. Now, this is some crazy breaking news. And this is from the official account, so this is actually real. He is standing down. I expected that there was a measurable chance, as I analyzed the other day, he was beginning to lose main support within the party. So if you kind of lost Pelosi, if Schumer's not at least outright defending you, you lost Manchin, you lost Schiff, etc., etc.
Yes, you're describing exactly why it was a good idea for him to drop out.
Got several dozen congressional Democrats at the House level that are now against you. Some mayors and governors and shit like that. Because your debate performance was so astronomically terrible that people are starting to talk openly, and it's no longer a conspiracy theory, by the way, about the fact that you're demented. And when your opponent, you know, you try to kill him, but you fail.
Really? He's on this conspiracy theory? Even for Styx, that's a little sad.
It becomes a little bit of a problem seeking re-election. Nonetheless, I still...
Again, the shooter was Republican.
...believe if I were the god of the Democrats, so I'm the head of the Democratic Party, I would say, run, Joe, run. Honestly, the best of all possible worlds is that Joe is still your nominee. Millions and millions of voters already fucking voted.
Oh my god, he's so salty. He's like, no, it would have been better to keep Joe in. Literally no. No Republican was saying that or thinking that more than a day ago. You're all literally salty that they did the strategically sound thing, and now you actually have to campaign against someone that hasn't been propagandized against and isn't old enough that it's an issue. Holy crap, this is incredible. I'm loving this stream, to be honest. Penikagami says, do these people not understand that a candidate can just quit? Like, for no reason other than they want to. Hell, a president can just quit for no reason, and the only primary the Dems did were last-minute virus signal technicalities that no opponents got to campaign for. To call them primary show you have no respect for democracy. They just are trying anything. Because they look like idiots now.
For the dude in the primaries. They voted for him. They didn't vote for Kamala, although she's on the ticket, so that's a little bit better. They didn't vote for Gavin Newsom. They didn't vote for Gretchen Whitmer. They didn't vote for Kathy Hochul or anything like that.
President Whitmer will happen someday. Mark my words.
Voted for...
She's the governor of Michigan, for those that don't know. She's pretty based. I like her.
...for Joe Biden. The next Democratic candidate, because of the state of the union in general, is going to have to distance themselves from the administration in order to even debate. We're not even sure there's going to be another goddamn presidential debate.
I think Kamala's on board, or rather, I'm sorry I keep doing this, Kamala's on board, but Trump has indicated, I saw a report that he will not, probably because he's a big bitch about it, but we'll see.
I mean,
I would like to see that. I really would.
The first one was so great, it was one for the ages, that it doesn't really matter, but...
Who do I think will be the Dem VP? I couldn't even speculate. I don't know. I think they'll probably go, like, safe for middle America, meaning a white dude, but maybe they'll surprise us. I don't know.
You know, you agreed to...
And to be clear, I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad decision. It's a strategic, pragmatic one. Probably the one they'll make.
Several, but the other person won't have agreed to them necessarily. Thinking about the possibility of Kamala running. Who the hell is a running mate going to be? This is insane. So yeah, prepare for political chaos. There's going to be plenty of it. Might have to do an impromptu fucking live stream. I think I might wait till Monday and, oh God, I'll just discuss it then. This is A+ grade political chaos. The Democrats are currently suffering one of the most legendary political nervous breakdowns that has ever been seen in U.S. history.
I have not seen the Democrats or people on the left in general this energized in like 4 years. What is he talking about? This shit's incredibly good. Marcus Drake with 37 months says, I don't love Shapiro, but some of his upsides are a dude involved in Pennsylvania politics. Shapiro gave us universal school meals, refused to defend the law banning Medicaid funds from going to abortions in court, allocated $3 million for free period products in schools, increased funding for infrastructure, education, and public defenders, expanded the Pennsylvania child care tax credit, got 2 regional clean hydrogen hub projects, and cut taxes while still creating an $11 billion surplus. Ooh. That's a good sales pitch. That's a good, like, elevator pitch for him. That's nice.
It's one of the greatest political meltdowns in world
Feels like he's projecting. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing here. Just being hopeful, I guess.
history. And it's happening right before our eyes. How great is that? Honestly, though, again, I mean, if I were a Democratic strategist, I would just let Joe run. I'd say, look, you're going to lose. Quite clearly, you're going to lose. But you got the incumbency. You don't, you can blame long Voldemort disease for not showing up at the second debate. It'll be conspicuous, but at the very least, it limits the damage some. And you lose, but, it's probably like by a 2016 margin, maybe a couple of extra states.
He's literally, is he negotiating with a hypothetical Biden? Biden, please, you should stay in the race. You'll lose, but, like, just please stay in the race. Please, please come back. Please stay in the race. Who is he even pleading with?
You don't get completely humiliated.
Wow. This is something.
You just lose. I would encourage him to do that. Apparently,
yeah, I bet you would. I bet you would. The thing where you think he'll lose, I bet you would like him to do that, considering you want him to lose. What a bizarre thing to say.
Got the memo, though.
This would be me, like, I think Trump should, what I think he should do is come out on stage and talk about how much he loves Jeffrey Epstein and how much they hung out together and met girls together. Like, of course I want him to do that because it would be bad for him, but I wouldn't say it because it's an insane thing to say. Who would I be talking to? Who just says random fantasies that make no sense?
That his party leadership is like, look, you've lost the Obamas. Earlier today, the Clintons came.
Did I see Fox has no legitimate arguments against Kamala except paper straws and this? Is it the laughing thing? Hold on, let me get the link. Paste.
It's just one reason that voters seem to detest.
Oops, sorry, it didn't go into the correct tab. Here we go. Yeah, this is hilarious. Check this out. This is how desperate they are. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure they will come up with some line of attack. I'm sure they're already formulating in think tanks all the different things they can say about her and getting their messaging straight. But the fact that they are flailing this much in the 11th hour means they really weren't expecting this, and that's good. So here's the best they have right now.
Here's just one reason that voters seem to detest Kamala Harris. You decide.
Onion Plug, thanks for following. She eats her eggs over easy. Start an investigation. Tan suit! She's wearing a tan suit!
And is that a socialist or progressive perspective?
No. I thought we were supposed to.
I like that she just laughs at questions like that. I think that's the correct response. She's a mainline Democrat. She's not a socialist.
Serve things. I couldn't reconcile it. Now I can.
Incredible.
Came out kind of in support of him, and I guess they bet wrong. The Clintons just threw the dice, and they rolled snake eyes, so...
The Clintons have since endorsed Kamala.
That's hilarious, too.
I know that doesn't matter to us, but it'll matter to some people. Screaming at the Radio says, the laugh thing is so weird, it's like they don't understand they're making her relatable. Also, has anyone ever heard Trump laugh? I think on some level to them, because a lot of them are sexist, they already view women as silly or airheaded, you know, a bunch of sexist, misogynistic conceptions you might have about women. So they think when they are showing her laughing, what they are showing is her being frivolous or not taking things seriously, because they already have preconceptions about her that are negative based on stereotypes they have for women and potentially non-white people. Chitara says, you shouldn't vote for her because she giggles. I saw someone on Twitter show her dancing with citizens as another reason why she's not fit to be president. I saw that too! How weird! They're so weird! Sorry, Fennikagami. I don't know why yours are always so hard for me to catch. I don't know if it's like the color of your name on Twitch or what. Holy shit, Nemesaur with a $50 tip says I may have to leave the stream. Being exposed to this much salt can't be good for my health. Thank you for the generosity. That's incredible. And then Fennikagami, let me find your bits. Fennikagami says the best part is that Trump refuses to debate. We can get to claim that Trump is afraid to debate his opponent. He debated Joe, the guy who dropped out. Why, if he's so a debater that the last guy ran away, won't he debate Kamala? What Trump are you afraid of? A woman? Are you a beta male? Yep, pretty good. Pretty good. Catalina Gearbox with 50 bits says Mega MAGA Cope. Yeah, today's good. This is a good one. I'm not gonna lie either. If Trump loses to, like, a woman, and in particular, a woman of color, it's gonna be so satisfying, in particular, seeing all the chuds that are racist, sexist piece of shits lose it. And I know, it's not healthy to care about this and to want to see other people suffer, and it's not that I prescriptively want to see them suffer, but I do recognize that what I think is a good action generally, Kamala being elected, also has the side result of people that I consider quite bad people being upset. I want to know. That's a little fun. Hydrate and do.
Oh, we'll be analyzing all of this and much, much more. I don't know what the fuck we're going to do with polling, though, ahead of the election. I got no idea what the fuck is going on half the time these days. And I do this for a goddamn living.
Thanks,
So,
Carposian.
yeah, prepare for some fucking chaos, man. It's going to be great. That's about
It's great.
all.
Because it's not chaos.
Peace out.
That's something. Sad you missed the
All
Trump
right, everyone,
person in chat. Oh yeah, they literally illustrated everything I was talking about. It's hilarious. Alright, I'm going to use the bathroom real quick. While I use the bathroom, Chair will tell you about the slasher film, Popcorn. I'll be right back. Don't have too much fun without me, and don't go anywhere. It's the law. I returned. Fennikagami says, or do they think they're showing her cackling like a villainess? Joke's on you, morons. The internet loves villainesses. Do you have any idea how many men want an evil woman to step on them? Have you never heard of Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy? I don't think they have. All right, let's see what we're gonna cover next. Okay, here's someone from Newsmax freaking out.
The new rules, apparently, by the Democrat Party is that if you're down at halftime, we'll just swap out and put in somebody else.
You can do that if you don't like Trump. If you think that Kamala, or sorry, I keep doing it. If you think Kamala's gonna beat Trump, and you have some mechanism for getting rid of him, do it! Pressure him to leave! Do it! You can do the same thing.
I mean, that's not how it works at the Super Bowl. It's not how it works at life. You
Oh man, it's almost like the election isn't the fucking Super Bowl. Crazy.
get to halftime and
The DNC hasn't happened yet. He wasn't the official candidate. Fun fact!
if you're trailing, then you just go and try to swap something out. But the concern here, and you're kind of getting this with the democracy aspect, 14 million Democrats voted for Joe Biden to be at the top of their ticket. And for them to just...
Who else was on that ticket? Who was the other person on that ticket? Sorry, Jay. Let me go find those. Oh, I really missed those, didn't I? Sheesh. Jay Rodimus says, nah, they've been wishing suffering on people like me. I'm polyamorous, neurodivergent Mexican, and my friends for years. It feels good to turn the tables. I would never wish true suffering on people, but I am living for the utter destruction of their egos. Yeah, that's fair.
Just going to effectively invalidate all 14 million of these votes, to me, it really seems to be an affront to democracy. It almost seems to be an obstruction of an official proceeding. But Kamala Harris today, in her very brief remarks, really seems to be unburdened by what has been. There was no mention of her disastrous job as the border czar. I'm sure the families of Laken Riley, Rachel Morin, or Jocelyn Nungary would have something to say about the job that Kamala Harris did. There's nothing still about the 55 missing ISIS terrorists that are running around the United States. So Kamala Harris has been a disaster.
Sorry, Dillis Filler. I am missing so many today. I apologize. Dillis Filler said, actually, if I remember correctly, that is how the Super Bowl works. You can swap out players. Yeah, the team goes to the Super Bowl. In theory, you could put whoever you wanted on the team, right?
Disaster. She owns every single part of Joe Biden's record.
Yeah, the pretending to care about democracy after, like, years of them being like, it's a republic. Fuck off. No one believes your bullshit. Fuck all the way off, you fucking liars, you disingenuous pieces of shit.
In fact, that's why we're calling it the Harris-Biden administration.
Indeed. And the question is whether or not Biden himself is fit to run at this very moment. Okay, he won't seek re-election. We know Robert Hur called him an elderly man with a poor memory. But Kamala, as you just saw in your own campaign ad, said she was meeting with him, says, you know, he's in great health to run the country. So who's telling the truth? Who's running the country? And she could...
I don't even understand that line of attack. You're basically saying, is Kamala running the country? Because if that was the case, it would demonstrate that she's capable of functioning in the job? So that's like a really bad line of attack? I'm confused.
Could have indeed invoked the 25th Amendment, Jason. So how big of a role in deception to America did she play?
I love how Newsmax, like, it's the most blatant. It's like something out of a Paul Verhoeven movie, the way they just blatantly try to shape a narrative through what they're saying. Like, they're not even begging the question. She's just saying, she's just like, did she have a part in this insane illegal deception? Like, just framing the narrative like there was some sort of secret deception? Incredible. Who writes this crap?
In all of this, including with the media that was complicit, but she was right there front and center, no?
Kamala Harris absolutely was complicit in the entire thing. And I would also say that Dr. Kevin O'Connor, Joe Biden's doctor, who signed off on medical report after medical report, saying that he was in fantastic shape. I mean, everything short of leaping over...
Then he caught COVID.
Small buildings in a single bound or stopping a speeding bullet. They made Joe Biden sound like he was a perfect physical specimen, but then we saw when President Trump knocked him out on that debate stage that Joe Biden is in serious cognitive decline. There's just not much there, and you're so right to focus on that point about who's actually running the country. I don't know if maybe it's Joe Biden, maybe it's Hunter, all of the options.
What? Are they trying to claim Hunter Biden as the shadow president? What? It put him up there with LBJ on the list of, like, presidents with the biggest wieners, so that's good. H-Baird says, in the interest of unity, we should throw the Republicans a bone and have Kamala choose Hunter Biden as VP. Toreador says, fun fact, this guy was cloned from Rush Limbaugh's appendix. Oh.
Quite frankly, scare me because our adversary...
Myri Ren says, his doctor was very clear he has arthritis, elevated cholesterol, and mild peripheral neuropathy.
These foreign threats, whether it be Putin, Xi, the Ayatollah, any of these rogue regimes are...
Wait, do you guys not like Putin now? I get whiplash from the Republicans' position on Russia, because half the time they seem to fucking love them.
Terrorist groups around the country, they're looking at us and they're licking their chops.
Yeah, and Kamala, when she opens her mouth, has had plenty of cringeworthy comments. I also want to call in...
I'm sorry, did they just say cringeworthy on something purporting to be news? Oh, god damn it. Kagami says, the hilarious thing about the democracy virtue signal is, what are they going to do to stop it? Force Joe back on the ticket? Even idiots would see the opposing party getting to choose the candidate as authoritarian. Forbid them from naming a candidate? Same problem. Now you're banning a political opponent. You have no moves. They just want to complain. They're just gonna complain about it.
Will be much more in focus as she is at the top of the ticket. We can't ignore the fact that, you know, she helped this Minnesota nonprofit that wanted to bail out the BLM. It did bail out BLM protesters. We have the tweet.
That's all they have? Oh, this is good.
That's there on the record. Her early rise. San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown wrote about the book, in his book, about them having an affair that really helped launch her career. I mean, Kamala's record, as you mentioned here, whether it be border czar or now she'll be pushing abortion, we know that.
I'm sure she'll be pushing abortion and not advocating for the rights of people to do and have bodily autonomy.
There's going to be a lot, I think, of speculation and introspection on, you know, who she is, how she got to where she is. And I know the left will want to...
Also, I don't believe the, like, affair thing, but even if I did, are they pretending they give a shit about affairs now? Because Trump literally... on the record, we know pays for, like, sex workers at minimum. Are they gonna pretend to care about that? What? I'm so confused. The messaging is all over the place.
Say she's a woman and she's black and, you know, this and that for identity politics. But
what? I didn't bring that up. Who brought that up?
Jason, this is a woman with a very interesting past that I think a lot of people have to look closer at. And again,
interesting past.
Going back to the fact that she's at the top of the ticket and not one primary voter wished her to be there.
I do.
Right, and even...
Oh, I've heard the racist DEI shit.
When you go back to 2019, Kamala Harris never even made it to the first votes being cast in the Iowa caucuses for the 2020 primary.
We didn't have primaries this year.
She dropped out well in advance of that. But the reason why Kamala Harris's role as border czar is so important, because this border crisis that both Kamala Harris and Joe Biden launched led to the Biden migrant crime wave, which led
the Biden migrant crime wave
led to these horrific murders.
Everyone who knows that phrase has a small penis and owns several guns and is very afraid of the world.
These horrific tragedies. That
Daima Oni-chan says it's like they can't imagine a presidential administration where corruption and nepotism aren't a major component. I wonder why.
Opens up for taking a look at all of Kamala Harris's soft on crime positions from over.
I'm sorry, you think this former prosecutor is soft on crime?
The years. In particular, I would, as you pointed out, look at the Minnesota Freedom Fund, which bailed out this man who'd been arrested numerous times. Then only 3 weeks later, he goes and shoots a man at a light rail station, and this murderer is now serving the rest of his life behind bars. Kamala Harris went on her Twitter page and asked people to contribute to bail these people out. This isn't some like one...
Okay. And one person out of how many people did something? Kind of feels like you cherry-picked and found the one guy. Weird.
or 2 or 3 steps
It's amazing how, like, blatant their rhetoric is. It's not even hard to decipher if you think about it for 3 seconds.
removed. This is Kamala Harris. It's still up today on her Twitter page, calling to raise money to bail these people out. She's been soft on crime, terrible on crime. Wait until we start going into the details about her time as Attorney General in the state of California.
We just have to look it up and figure out what we can frame as bad towards Republicans.
It's going to get even uglier.
What a very, very strange quote-unquote news network. Here was their report, I guess you can call it, when Biden endorsed Kamala. Lennon Cat says, my favorite is when they say a president following through with their campaign promises is buying votes. They can't even imagine a politician actually doing something for the constituents or caring about them. Yeah, that's funny. What, you're doing things people want? You're allowed to do that?
Party nominee in 2020 was to pick Kamala Harris as my vice president, and it's been the best decision I've made. Today, I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala to be the nominee for our party this year. Democrats, it's time to come together and beat Trump. Let's do this. So not only do we have news that Joe Biden is stepping out, he put out a letter. He also issued a statement on Twitter saying that he is endorsing Kamala Harris as the nominee for the Democrat Party. Talk to me, Ellis, your reaction.
Have you noticed that they called the Democratic Party the Democrat Party now? The thing Republicans started doing some years ago, I assume, to try and rhetorically distance it from Democratic and make it more like Democrat. I hate Democrats, you know? Simple, but there's a reason they do it.
It's a fascinating news. I would say highly expected. Delegates are very likely to listen to him. I think it makes it very difficult for any other Democrat to run.
H-Beard says, I had to step out. Have we watched OAN where they talk very slowly? We haven't today. I've watched them before, though.
On a serious challenge, as might have been the case in an open primary or brokered convention, the kind of thing that Mark was hinting at a moment ago. But this makes it a much more orderly process. It's easier for her to get her hands on the money.
It's because the word Democrat ends with rat. Oh, that's childish.
Money than it would be for other candidates. And I think Republicans need to get ready for a race against Kamala Harris.
Mark Halperin, your reaction, Kamala as the top of the ticket.
Well, it's complicated. He didn't originally plan to do that. After I reported that he wasn't planning to do it, he and others close to him faced a lot of heat from people who say endorse. Many people, including some close to Vice President Harris, didn't want an endorsement. They felt that it would look too much like a kind of a put-up job, the establishment picking the candidate. They wanted a more open process. But in the end, the logic of saying he had to endorse the person he thought was the most qualified by making her vice president carried the day. I still think it'll be interesting to see what kind of endorsement she gets, how open they try to make this process. I do not anticipate, whether President Biden endorsed or not, that anyone will run against her.
I want to
And that was actually pretty accurate. Yeah, so far no one's put their neck out. Joe Manchin made some noise about it, but he wants attention as per usual. So. Lennon Cat says, I'm 100% sure that it's the real reason they say that America is a Republican, not a democracy. They want people to associate Republicans with America and say Democrats, and therefore democracy, are not really America. Yeah, could be part of it. Let's see what we're going to cover next. All right. Let's hear from the brainworms. Oh, Amber with a link real quick before we get on to the brainworms. Republican strategists realizing they've deliberately made this election about cognitive decline of an elderly man. I've made a huge mistake. Pretty good.
By the way, Pat Ward at our White House unit Fox News can now confirm that the Vice President, Kamala Harris, spoke with former President Barack Obama yesterday. Obama came out with a statement yesterday following Biden's decision to drop out. It did not endorse Harris. Obama also did not endorse Biden in 2020. So presumably, he probably said, hey, listen, I'm not going to endorse you at this point. The big question...
I'd imagine he will.
Because,
I'd imagine he'll help campaign for her. Why did I say that weird? I imagine he'll help campaign for her, especially considering that there's a shorter period of time she has to work with. So I think it would help to get Obama out there for her. I think a lot of people, especially a lot of libs, have a nostalgia for the Obama years, you know? So I think that would probably help. Nakagami says the whole reason the Dems pressured Joe to step down was that it made the process as legitimate as possible. Dems anticipated the Republicans having a piss fit about this, and I think Joe, after he decided to step down, also timed his announcement when he did on purpose to fuck with the Republicans. Yeah, at minimum it works out, you know, accidentally. Pray with a link real quick.
Don't you be a...
Oh, I can't play this. The music will get copyrighted.
What we've heard from the Obamas is they want an open process. They want a competition. So it sounds like...
That would be incredibly stupid, but I also don't trust Fox News' sources, so... I don't think that's true.
At least over the phone, person to person, Barack Obama said, I'm not going to endorse you right now.
Remember, he didn't endorse Joe Biden either, ever,
Yeah.
2016 or 2020. Let's bring in Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
I find that incredibly hard to believe. Is that true?
As an independent, wanted to run as a Democrat. They basically told him he couldn't. But
He didn't have the support! His worms would have voted for him. Okay, I'm done with the worm jokes. I'm done with the worm jokes, probably.
I'm moving the New Hampshire primary. Welcome, Robert. Great to see you. Your reaction to what's happened over the last 24 hours.
Oh God, the noises he's making. Can you hear that?
I think it's encouraging.
Futurama told me worms were supposed to make you smarter.
And
Humble Homestead with 51 months says, consider the coconut. Consider the coconut. Dwayne's not my fave, but the song is catchy. Oh yeah, it was written by Lin-Manuel Miranda, who I have problems with politically, but goddamn, that dude can write really catchy songs. I think about Hamilton songs all the time, and I have so many problems with Hamilton. That's what I hate about it. Like, there are so many historical inaccuracies and, like, weird, like, fudgings of things to make characters seem likable when, like, it's not historically accurate. But goddamn, the Hamilton soundtrack is so good! Sorry, I'm posting like it's 2013, but, like, damn, I like me some Hamilton, I'm not gonna lie.
thank you, Steve, and thanks for having me. I think it's encouraging that that President Biden dropped out. That was something, you know, when I got in a year ago, I said that he was not, that his deterioration made it clear was not going to improve.
But RFK Jr. sounds great. He's not deteriorating at all. Penakagami says RFK Jr. is a paid Republican plant. Make all the brainworm jokes. He's been caught on the phone colluding with Trump. Yeah, that clip was interesting. I don't know who saw that. But he was caught talking with Trump, and I think we all kind of felt like he was a spoiler candidate. Whether initially it was by intention, I don't know. I think Roger Stone was involved, and Roger Stone is like a political maneuverer who worked with Nixon and has him tattooed on his back, so... Yeah.
Prove, and that it made it clear that he could not run the country. I think that...
Did the Kennedys get cursed or something? Like in their bootlegger days, did they cross the wrong witch? Just feels like something about being a Kennedy, like, really does not work out for you. Ugh.
Democrats really need to do what President Obama said, which is to have an open process, a genuinely open process. So much of the primary process...
Wow, it's incredible that RFK Jr., who wants to run as a Democrat, always has the same opinions as the people on Fox News. That's incredible.
...is rigged. The country...
It's so convenient.
...the country knows that it's rigged to benefit the corporate elites. And I think the Democratic Party really needs to distinguish itself from the Republican.
I don't know what's going on with his voice. I don't want to comment on it because I genuinely don't know. I assume it's some sort of health issue, whatever it is. But I have no idea, so I can't speak to it.
Party. President Trump announced yesterday that Jamie Dimon is his choice for...
Alternative joke. It's the worms. They're so deep from his brain and they're so big they're kind of dangling down his throat and giving him a weird Zoidberg thing, but like completely down his throat. Why did I make that noise? I didn't need to do that on camera in front of like 300 people. Jesus Christ.
Commerce
What am I doing with my life?
Secretary, and that Larry Fink is his choice, who's the head of BlackRock, is his choice for the Treasury Secretary. And I think the Democrats really have an opportunity now to distinguish themselves as the party of the American middle class, as the party that cares about working people, that cares about the deficit, that cares about the chronic disease epidemic that is devastating the people of this country. And but I think they're going to need an open process, and I do not see that any evidence they're going to do that.
Literally right now, if you had a primary in every state in the United States, Kamala would win. I really think she would. But you don't need to have that process. She was the vice president. The president stepped down. It's an incumbency. The process seems pretty clear. The DNC is a private organization, as the RNC is. So technically, as per the Supreme Court, they can run their interior organization however they want. I don't like this, but the reality is they would never actually legally have to hold a primary if they didn't want to. That's a process that they do because it's the right thing to do, but it's not a legal requirement. The DNC and the RNC can pick their candidates however they want. So while this is kind of a unique situation, legally it is clear that this is possible, and logically, considering she is already the vice president and the president is stepping down in an incumbency year, I think most people can understand, okay, stands to reason, makes sense, Kamala should continue on the ticket. That will be reflected at the convention. Most of the delegates, or at least a great number of them, to my understanding, have already officially come out and said they're behind Kamala. So that's what's happening. You don't need to be a little baby about it.
Real quickly, Robert, they say that they want...
Alex says he has spasmodic dysphonia, which affects his larynx and makes it difficult to speak. Thank you for the explanation.
To have this, and by the way, we want to confirm that first.
MH Darkbeast says, speaking of the RNC, did you see this dumpster fire? Makes me super sad. I used to like him. Oh no. Is this going to be the Hulk Hogan thing? Or is this going to be... Oh no. We probably should watch a little bit of this. I haven't seen it. I have not seen this.
Have more of the speakers, it looks like, who are...
In this room, I felt maybe...
What happened to I am a real American? Fight for the rights of every man. That would be, I guess you could take it literally and it could just be men. That could be misogynistic. Also, Hulk Hogan didn't write that song. He just walked out into the ring with it. Can't believe Santa with muscles is a dick.
I was in Madison Square Garden getting ready to win another world title. Or maybe I thought.
What are we doing?
The vibe was so intense.
The guy who wrote it is a right-winger and wrote a version for Trump. Well, that's depressing.
The energy was so crazy, it felt like maybe I was going to press that no-good stinky giant over my...
Since Peter Thiel paid for his lawsuit. I don't like Hulk Hogan, but he didn't deserve to have his nudes blasted everywhere either, so,
head and slam him through the mat, brother.
Well, that's just pathetic.
If Donald Trump has selected them, we haven't seen those reports just yet. But Robert, can you go into detail about this open process? How can you have an open process when the people don't get the vote?
This is not a planned conversation to try and beg the question. We're a legitimate news source. God damn. People. The viewers are the people with the real brain worms.
When the delegates get to decide who's going to be your nominee.
These are the people who are in favor of the Electoral College and tried on January 6th to stop the process and bring in alternative delegates, which aren't a thing, to overturn the democratic process. This could not be more blatantly bullshit. These people are such cynical liars, and it is maddening listening to them, constantly rhetorically shifting their positions and then acting as though no one notices, like everyone's a fucking idiot. Frustrating.
They could have done this months ago, but they decided not to do that.
There's a couple of ways they could do it. One is they could have ranked choice voting. If they have
what?
Ranked choice voting.
Is he just going to describe different methods of voting?
Would give a where the delegates choose not only their first choice but their second choice, perhaps their third choice. That would be a genuinely open process. Another thing they could do is to base it on national polling, to do some really good polling, to spend a couple $1 million polling the American public and seeing who.
Trey says, fun fact, Andre the Giant hated Hogan fucking over the WWE's attempt to unionize. I actually knew that because Baha and I were watching The Princess Bride last night, and she told me how much Andre hated Hogan in a quote about it.
Who is more likely to beat Donald Trump, and giving that information to the delegates and allowing them to make a decision based on that. It has to be some kind of fair process because it looks to the American public that the system is just rigged, which it is.
Again, I'm telling you, you put this in RoboCop like decades ago, and people would laugh at it because it's funny.
Right. So they're going to have a meeting on Wednesday, the DNC, to figure out the rules going forward. To be a nominee in the process, you need 300 signatures from the about 4,000 delegates. You know that. Robert, you are a lifelong Democrat, running as an independent now. Are you going to be one of the challengers? Are you going to challenge Kamala Harris?
Well, I'm running, Lawrence. I'm running as an independent now, and I think the Democrats would make if they looked at the polling. I'm the only candidate who can beat Donald Trump.
What polls are you looking at? Where are they coming from? Kagami says, to quote Brian Tyler Cohen, you may think the Republicans hate the Democrats, but there's no one they hate more, have more contempt for than their own base.
Right. But I'm not going to get into the Democratic Party as long as the system seems rigged. If they had a fair system, I would definitely look at it.
I'm sure that's the reason.
Even though they covered it up, and we're a month away from the DNC, only 107 days away from voting day, the Dems and the media heard this news yesterday and they started praising. Listen to this.
Cut.
He has put people over politics and patriotism over personal position. And this is another heroic act in a long-running series of heroic acts by Joe Biden.
You know, the president took the honorable path. And I think, yes, this will be about his legacy.
Today's decision by Joe Biden to not seek re-election shows the difference between a
Poor Wolf Blitzer, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw, but Wolf Blitzer was in the middle of having a nice cocktail when the Biden stuff happened and he had to go into work. That's never fun. Gamergy with 15 months says, with Biden out, I can actually advocate to vote for Kamala. Imagine the trifecta of Trump losing again, the first woman president, and the first woman president not being Hillary. Sign me up for voting. Let's go. Yes, the enthusiasm is beautiful, isn't it?
selfless president and in Donald Trump, a selfish person.
I think today we should focus on Joe Biden's incredible legacy of service to our nation, his selflessness, his accomplishments.
Today is about what Joe Biden did. He gave America.
It's so funny to me that the Republicans are trying to pass off some sort of Dems in disarray narrative, but then here they are showing like many high-profile Democrats all like being in unison about this. Pretty funny.
A lesson in patriotism.
I know they're so happy because they didn't see a path for Joe Biden to win, but how...
I think this is cringe for the record, but I think this would work for, like, I don't know, suburban lib boomers. Like, hammer home, like, you know, George Washington retired voluntarily, and so did Biden. He's like our founding fathers. Again, I personally find that cringe, and it makes me roll my eyes. But tell me your, like, grandma wouldn't like that.
How angry should they be? How angry should the American public be? Because they covered this up. They knew about what was happening behind the scenes, and it wasn't until the debate when they really recognized it publicly.
Yeah, you know, when they were talking just now, it reminded me of George Washington, who actually did a genuinely selfless act. Nobody expected him to leave the presidency. He could have easily won another term. The whole country wanted him to stay. And King George III, when Washington announced that he was not going to run again, King George III said that makes him the greatest leader in human history. And he did something.
He is doing it for me. Very strange.
That was genuinely selfless. I think the perception here is that President Biden was forced out. I commend President Biden for 50 years of service to our country, but I think that...
I like that they accidentally made the argument I was making. Good. They tried to bail out at the end, but I don't think it worked.
The last several months of trying to stay in this race when he was clearly not capable of performing the duties of his office were a black mark at the end of his career. I think also Kamala has a lot of explaining to do because she was seeing the president every day, and she was telling the...
To be clear, in his thing dropping out, he did not say he was unfit. He didn't say that. He just said he was dropping out. He said he thought it would be for the best. That's all he said.
American public again and again and again. He's completely he's completely capable of running the country. There's no signs of deterioration. There's no signs of cognitive impairment, and that clearly would...
RFK would know.
Is not true, and I think that she has a vulnerability there. Whoever she runs against, she has a big vulnerability about explaining because she's been the concealer in chief.
Right, and we all are vulnerable because he's going to be here for the next 5 months because he still can't recognize the Secretary of Defense as of last Saturday. All right, now on the assassination attempt that happened a week ago Saturday on the President of the United States, today we're going to get the Secret Service... the
former president.
The former president, the Secret Service Director.
There you go.
Is going to be in front of Jim Jordan's Oversight Committee. What questions do you have, and do you have any doubt that she should be fired?
You know, I don't know enough about it. I will tell you this. First of all, I have Secret Service protection right now, and the Secret Service has been doing an amazing job for me. And I'm very, very happy with the level of protection they're giving me. And
that was a leading question, and he actually didn't buy this one. That's funny. I wonder if he doesn't want to piss off his Secret Service detail.
Concern and their...
Because I wouldn't.
Professionalism. There were issues that I don't understand when, Gavin Becker Associates was protecting me for the year of my campaign prior to the Secret Service coming on. And every time I did an outdoor event, they had drones flying overhead.
Okay. They're done talking about the Biden things. I'm gonna move on. Let's see what's next. Let's see what this one is. Something from BitChute, so it's probably gonna be really weird or messed up.
We're joined now by the Democratic strategist, Hank Sheinkopf. Hank, welcome to the show. Right, guess it's time. Right, so the big question is, Can anybody beat Donald Trump? Kamala Harris has been polling significantly behind Joe Biden even. Donald Trump very rambunctious, as you'd imagine, today, saying Harris...
Any Rob? I guess I haven't actually looked. Let me see. Okay, I think I need to play this one, even if it's not about Kamala, because Rob just put out a video titled J.D. Vance is a devil-worshipping, blood-drinking Luciferian, and I need to get on it. I need to get in on this, so...
What's going on, everybody? Get the Raging Rob here. I'm in my vehicle. I'm not a MAGA, don't worry.
What has happened to Rob? Seriously. He, was a huge Trump supporter, and maybe he still is, but I guess he hates Vance. He's saying he's not MAGA. He turned in members of a militia he was part of because they were planning some sort of violent action, and he flipped on them. So, as much as Rob has had bad takes, when it comes down to it, you ratted on the militia terrorists. So that's good. I'll give him credit for that. He's a strange one.
You know, I've said it once, I'll say it again. MAGA is the 5th degree in the Church of Satanism.
Oh, boy!
I don't know why people can't see that. Yeah, I understand make America great again. I get that. I get that. There's nothing wrong with making this great country we have greater or great. So, just some things I want to touch upon. Number one, there were some Nazis that came to howl, what, yesterday?
An anti-Nazi!
Well, no.
Maybe he's getting better.
Saturday. Today's Monday, right? Yeah, I've lost my track of my days. Saturday, when the Trump rally was going on in Grand Rapids, which I was there. Look at my other channel. I'll probably put this video on another channel, I don't know.
Being pro-Trump and anti-MAGA is breaking my brain. I don't even understand what that means. Lieutenant Kagami says he also hates Fuentes and Doyle. He thinks John is a misogynist and Nick is a Nazi. I mean, correct and correct.
But some Nazis came to howl. White Lives Matter, which, I'm white. White Lives Matter, I agree. I gotcha. Black Lives Matter, sure. Black Lives Matter, you're black, your life matters. Yeah, I get it. It's not the message itself. But when it comes to howl, which is 20 minutes from where I live, doing this shit, okay? Putting up Nazi salutes, screaming, White Lives Matter, you know? Don't worry, they weren't carrying tiki torches like in Charlottesville in 2017. We gotta kick...
What is he? I know, it's confusing. He's pro-Trump, anti-MAGA. What? I don't understand.
KK outing like 15 minutes from where I live.
If he's waking up, that's great. Maybe he's just making progress as a human being. He's homophobic. We know that because of his whole thing with the 8 homosexuals in a Wendy's. We know about that.
I live in Shiawassee County. Livingston County is the county below me. Kahakta is the name of the town, where there's still a KKK outing today. It's still active. Kahakta.
He likes Trump, but not people who also like Trump? That's interesting. That could be it. And that I wonder if that's just a level of, poor self-reflection. Or just, why does he like Trump, if not all the things that Trump says and does?
Nazis, get the fuck out of my area. And don't come back. You're not welcome here. That's all I gotta say. Number 2 thing I want to talk about. Joe Biden stepping down.
Oh, hell yeah! Good, it is about this! H. Baird says he's probably realized how shit all the other hardcore Trumpers are, but he's still in the bargaining stage of the Kubler-Ross model and isn't ready to admit to himself he was wrong. I hope so.
Well, they tried assassination, they tried everything else. They tried impeachment hearings, they tried this, they tried that, and Trump, The one thing I like about Trump, he's against the deep state. He's probably the biggest threat to the deep state.
What's that mean?
Some say he's the Antichrist. We'll see about that.
I like that he leaves room for, like, maybe he's the Antichrist, but he's my guy. Like, he's willing to give him a shot, you know. We'll see if he's the Antichrist. We'll dip a toe in.
He's got those vibes.
Trump's thought process is a beautiful piece of art to me. I love it and I cherish it. I'm gonna put it in a little cabinet in my house, just so I can look at it and it won't get dusty. Kagami says he's politically incoherent and doesn't understand that his feelings don't line up with his morality. He hasn't figured out that because he likes someone that doesn't make them a good person, and Rob is a moral person at his core, I think. Somewhere, I guess. Can I give a recap on the Wendy's thing? Basically, he's a truck driver or transportation of some kind, and he travels around the country. So he's done a lot of videos of him, you know, after getting breakfast or whatever. And one time he got in and he was at a Wendy's, I guess, but he started filming after he was in the parking lot. And he was like, I was just in a Wendy's and there were 8 homosexuals in a Wendy's. And he was just like adamant that these guys in the Wendy's were gay. And like, I don't know why he thought they were gay. They may have been. I don't know. I don't care. But like, he was adamant that there were 8 homosexuals in a Wendy's, and that bothered him specifically. There were 8 homosexuals in a Wendy's. Toreador says this guy has to be one of those guys that hates when they write gritty Batman because they think Trump or Batman is some perfect creation and doesn't need the Nazis grit. Bittergrin says he's for the Antichrist but against Satanists. At least that lines up with liking Trump and not MAGA. Yeah, that's true.
Joe Biden did not resign as president. He dropped out of the candidacy for president. He's not running for re-election. So now...
Okay, Mosslaw says his grinder went off. Okay, but if all the guys in the Wendy's... If the 8 homosexuals in the Wendy's are already on Grindr, why are they still in the Wendy's and not off doing Grindr things? Flaw in your theory. Oh, hi, Lou. What's going on, BB? And Kitty Lou is here. Hey, Lou, bye.
Looks like Kamala Harris. We got the DNC coming up in Chicago in, I don't know, 2-3 weeks, whatever it is. I'm going to be in South Dakota the first week of August, but we get the DNC coming up. No, I think it's like middle of August, something like that. I don't know. I think it might even be the 3rd or 4th week of August. Whatever it is. I think it's the 3rd week. Whatever. Woodward Dream Cruise coming up on the 17th. I always do videos of that. Anyway, we got the DNC coming up. They're talking about putting Kamala in there. There's rumors, I don't know if it's true, there's rumors that J.B. Pritzker, fat ass from Illinois, could be going as Kamala Harris's vice president pick.
Phyllis Filler with 40 bits says there's 3 reasons they're feeding them as trade. They're feeding them as a fetish, or they already finished at least, and this is a food break. Annie McKean with a 22-month streak says 8 homosexuals in a Wendy's, all voting for Harris. Wendy's nuggets are good, by the way. Wendy's nuggets are way better than like McDonald's nuggets. McDonald's nuggets are trash tier. Wendy's nuggets are really good. Get Wendy's nuggets.
Speaking of
Have I never heard of cottaging? I've not.
Presidents. this goes on to my third thing I want to talk about. I'm going to say this first off. The Democrats, they wanted Bernie as president, and Bernie is probably the president that well, as in the words of the Democrats, Bernie is the president that we deserve that we'll never get. That's Democrats. I'm a libertarian. I'm a moderate libertarian. If that makes sense. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this as a Republican. Tulsi Gabbard is the vice president that we deserve, that we're probably not going to get. Tulsi and me are about the same age. We're about the same age. I think she's got a year on me or whatever. I'm 40, almost 42.
What a weird first thing to bring up. First of all, reasons I would like this person. They are the same age as me.
But anyway, she used to be a Democrat.
It's a very, kindergarten way of thinking about it. I'm 4. How old are you? Oh, you're 4? We be friends. Yeah.
I used to be a Democrat.
Sorry, my VHS of Fisher-Price I Heart Dinosaurs, The King of the Dinosaurs fell.
I had a good conversation with Tulsi when I met her at the TPUSA in June last month in Detroit. I told her, hey, I used to be a Democrat. She's like, yeah, there's more of us out there than you know. I'm like, you're right. So I can kind of relate to her. She's the vice president we deserve. I despise the fact that Trump didn't pick her. She's the vice president we deserve that we're probably never going to get. Because Trump picked I'm going to say it, I don't care. If I piss off MAGAs, so what? If I piss off Trump supporters, so what? J.D. fucking Vance, a blood-sucking, devil-worshipping Luciferian. Look up Ambrosia. It's a company of Luciferians and blood drinkers that J.D. Vance invested in. And his wife worked for Bill Gates. As a Christian, as a follower of Jesus Christ, why would I vote for that?
Why would I vote for a former employee of Bill Gates as a Christian? It's such a funny... The fact that I even understand why he said that and what he means is disturbing to me. Yeah, conspiracy theorists hate Bill Gates, for those who don't know. They think he is involved in depopulation and trying to buy up all the farmland in order to starve people. Is Rob fixable? Maybe. It's possible. He's kind of incoherent politically, though, so I don't know how you wrangle that. And it's not my responsibility. I don't have the time or patience for that. I don't have interpersonal skills. I can talk at a camera and act as though you're a person even though I'm the only one here. But responses, that's tough.
When you vote for Trump, you are voting for a blood-sucking, devil-worshipping Luciferian.
Oh my god, is he not voting for Trump this time? Oh, Rob, you've made me the happiest witch on the internet.
To get into office.
Good for Rob.
I didn't say Trump. I'm talking about J.D. Vance.
Oh, you did say Trump, but okay.
That's a fact. Think about that when you go to the ballot box. I don't know. I'm probably going to vote for Kennedy now. Here's the thing about Kennedy. Kennedy's going to get a lot of votes of the Trump supporters that used to be Trump supporters that are pissed off at Trump.
You know what? I'm fine with that. Good. That's a good outlet. Go do that. Perfect.
So they're going to go to Kennedy.
This is a good indicator to me. There's got to be some contingent of politically incoherent people like this out there that would vote for Trump but aren't going to for whatever weird reason. Good. I like this.
They ain't going to go to that other weirdo. What's his name? West. I can't think of his name. Conan West or whatever his name. The guy that looks like Don King. Mike Tyson's manager. The guy that looks like George Clinton. Green Party. No, wait, he's running as an independent. Never mind. Yeah, he went
Chitara says, when people say I used to be a Democrat, I always have to side-eye them. What was it that made them decide that the Republicans were the better choice? Were the more progressive, or at the very least non-regressive policies of the Democrats unappealing? Because I have to doubt that every person who says this is a tax bracket that actually benefits from Republican policies. Some of it might be as people got older and the party dealt with more progressive politics socially, that they got turned off because they were homophobic or transphobic or whatever thing that got taken up as a political cause socially that they disagree with.
From Green Party to end up.
Some people might have had a career in like some sort of mining industry or some sort of energy thing that's more fossil fuel based, and then as climate change has become more and more of a political issue and Democrats have gotten more on board with like green initiatives and putting money into that stuff and subsidizing green energy, perhaps they felt disinclined to vote for Democrats because they felt they were financially going to be hurt by those actions. I don't know, stuff like that, maybe?
Independent. Conan West or Conan, whatever his name.
And to be clear, I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying I can see someone doing that because they're voting in their self-interest as opposed to thinking globally or thinking about, like, you know, the impact it has. People, kind of by their nature, you know, they're focused on their daily survival, you know? You can't fault people for that. That's a systemic problem.
I can't think of his name. Something West.
You can fault them for that, but you know what I mean. At least you should understand where it's coming from.
You got Jill Stein in the Green Party. I don't know how the hell she got nominated for Green, but don't ask it. Politics is a fucking WWE circus. Okay, that's what it is.
Especially after the RNC. Bittergrin says, interestingly, I've seen some people from Appalachia who are very pissed off about Vance and are thinking about not voting for Trump now. What's the reason for that? I'm familiar with Hillbilly Elegy, but I don't know. Like, why do they not like him? Did he misrepresent something in his book, film? I don't know. Not very familiar with him, honestly.
The WWE, I know they were fake years ago. I haven't watched WWE in probably 10 years. I don't even know who's up in wrestling anymore. Is John Cena still there? I don't know. Is Farouk still there? Damn! I don't know who's in WWE anymore. I don't know. And you used to have a guy named Mr. Kennedy! Kennedy!
He's not from Appalachia? I thought that book was based off his own experience. Did he just lie or something?
Kennedy! You know, I haven't watched WWE in so long. It's a circus. That's what politics has become in this country. It's become a fucking show. It's become a fucking circus. That's what it's become. Enjoy this circus. The Antichrist is about to be revealed.
I really hope he gets some help or gets some more supportive people around him that can help him kind of move away from this, because in my experience, when people get very into the Luciferian conspiracy theory stuff, conspiracy theories tend to attract people who are lonely. It's not always the case, but often if people are lonely and they're looking for things in their life, they can find a sense of community through conspiracy theories. It can make them feel special, stuff like that. So I'm hoping at some point he finds some people to kind of pull him out of this.
One thing is for sure, whether you vote for Trump, whether you vote for Harris, whether you vote for, well, you can't vote for Biden, whether you vote for West or Kennedy or Randall, what they end up their independent that's U.S. taxpayer guy that's running at Randall something. Or if you vote
I do not blame him for not knowing the name of the candidate of the U.S. Taxpayer Party. The rarely mentioned.
For the gay, Oliver Chase. Of the Libertarian.
See what I mean? What is he doing?
Party. Another fucking clown. Libertarians can do better than that. I wanted Joshua Smith. Joshua Smith is the candidate that we deserve on the Libertarian Party that we're not going to get. Whoever you vote for, one thing is for sure. Jesus Christ is Lord, and he is coming back. Trump's not going to save America. Harris is not going to save America. Mr. Kennedy is not going to save America. Jesus Christ is going to save America. Not God bless America, but God will judge America. For our sins. That is fact. Donald Trump knows what he's doing. He's not stupid. But a lot of MAGAs are going to vote for candidates just because they're MAGA. Just because they got the MAGA, what's the right word I'm looking for? Not the vote, the MAGA.
H-Beard says, apropos of nothing, I found a good potential VP. God, what's this going to be?
Mr. McMillan, would you like 30 seconds more?
Allow me to introduce myself.
Oh, this is classic. How old is this? 13 years?
I represent the rent that's too damn high party. People are working 8 hours a day and 40 hours a week to some a third job. Women can't afford to take care of their children, feed their children breakfast, lunch, and dinner. My main job is to provide a roof over your head, food on the table, and money in your pocket. This is politics as usual. Playing a silly game. It's not going to happen. The rent too damn high movement, the people I'm here to represent can't afford to pay their rent. They're being laid off right now as I speak. They can't eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Listen, someone's stomach, child's stomach just growled. Did you hear it? You gotta listen like me.
Okay,
let's
Mr.
talk
McMillan.
about the issue.
Mr.
People can't afford
Mr.
to pay their
Cuomo,
rent.
30
Stop.
seconds for you, sir.
Rent is too damn high.
Hell yeah. Based.
Thank you.
I'm a little uncomfortable at how much they laughed at that. Like, I get it. It is funny, but it's also not untrue, right? Like, he did that with a flourish. He did that with a lot of, like, theatricality. But what he's saying isn't untrue.
Endorsement.
Andronicus Khan says, why do these people think America needs to be saved? From what? I don't want America saved. I want it governed with a semblance of competency. They're locked in a constant state of Jeremiad. Basically, the Republican position is elect us or the country is doomed. We need a great awakening. We need some sort of revival. We need a saving from our downfall, or we're doomed. It's all based on, like, Jeremiad rhetoric. It's ridiculous. Gamer G says, Rage and Rob's political ideology is all over the place. It may not make sense to us, but this is a fairly large segment of the population. I feel like I could be canvassing and run across a few people like Rob, just a lot less angry, you know? People are interesting.
Well, why are you going to vote for that person? Well, that person got the MAGA endorsement. That's how Mike Rogers is probably going to win. No, I'm not going to vote for Elisa Slotkin, that slob. That AIPAC bought-out slob. Lisa Slotkin. That's my district, by the way. I'm voting for Tom Barrett. And he's probably going to lose. No. You got the Curtis Henkel, and you got Tom Barrett. Lisa Slotkin, yeah, she's running for Senate. Trying to get my shit straight here. Yeah, she's running for Senate.
I did something in the audio, so hopefully it'll lessen the crackling. It doesn't get rid of it, but it should be a little lesser now. Sorry about that. This video is also almost over.
She's the congresswoman in my district right now, but she's dropping because she's running for Senate. So you got Tom Barrett and Curtis Henkel running in my district for Congress. And I'm voting for Tom Barrett. I'm not voting for Mike Rogers. Hell no. Well, he got the Trump endorsement. I am sick of people winning just because they got the Trump endorsement. That's ridiculous. Look at your fucking candidates and see what they stand for. I'm not going to go on about Mike Rogers, but he's a pile of garbage. Look at these people. Find out who you're voting for. And when it comes to the general, don't vote for the guy just because he's a Republican. You want to take this country back? Shit. Stop doing and repeating the same thing over and over again. I'm out. Raging Rob.
I really hope someday he finds some sort of situation where he's less stressed, because he seems to have a lot of anger, and I hope he's able to find a place where he can reflect a little bit, you know? Maybe make some improvement. It didn't take long for this, according to Right Wing Watch.
I believe it's probably the amalgam of the spirit of Jezebel.
This is about Kamala.
She represents something which I believe is probably the amalgam of the spirit of Jezebel, and in a way that'll be even more ominous than Hillary, because she'll bring a racial component and she's younger. And so this is going to be...
Yes, because she's a woman. It's just straight up sexist shit. They did the same thing with Hillary.
This is going to be a real thing to rise above that. So in the spirit, you know, as a Christian, I'm describing to you warfare on two levels, right? She represents...
So that's great. Honestly, as weird as and uncomfortable as the sexist attacks are, that's gonna play very badly for Republicans broadly. Women vote. Women vote, I think, in a lot of places, statistically more than men. And I think there are a decent number, not all, maybe not even most, but a decent number of moderate or Republican women who will hear that and be immediately turned off by it. That doesn't necessarily mean they'll vote for Kamala if they don't like her, but maybe they'll be less inclined to vote for Trump. Who knows? Oh, God, what is this? The thumbnail on this one is something.
Hey, World Alternative Media here, and yes, Joe Biden has resigned, I guess. Does he know that? I'm not sure. None of this really quite matters. Cackling Kamala Harris, you know, the former...
Again, the insults that they're coming up with. Cackling Kamala... Really?
Degenerate prostitute, well, she's still a degenerate prostitute now for politics, is stepping up. And again, this is all part of the bread and circuses that we're witnessing today. We're going to go into this a little bit. Daily Mail says, did Biden even sign his own resignation letter?
Oh, the Daily Mail is passing off conspiracy theories as news again. I'm shocked.
Bizarre new theory sweeps internet, complete with photographic evidence. Look, even the mainstream media is like, what this...
The Daily Mail, the mainstream media, again, they're a rag.
None of this makes any sense.
Whenever I hear, Americans cite the Daily Mail, I always roll my eyes.
Joe Biden's brother has made a public statement. Obama has made a public statement. Kamala Harris has made a public statement. Joe Biden, as I do this video, has not yet. We'll see maybe later today. As I post this, we will see that. But he allegedly has COVID, which doesn't even exist. I mean, it's...
Oh! He's one of those. That's interesting.
The whole thing.
He thinks it doesn't exist. That's confusing. What does he think about the time Trump got COVID? Because Trump got COVID.
Just reeks of civilizational collapse, and it's about the demoralization of the populace. There's two of the most dangerous things in politics are hero worship, which we're seeing today with Trump, and demoralization.
Oh, good, he's anti-Trump. Good.
Based on the weakness of people like Biden. This is how
we can move on from him then. That's not even MAGA cope. Thank goodness. That's nice. Get out of jail free card. All right, here's another one from Newsmax. Let's take a look. That's incorrect. Why did it do that? That's not the right link at all. No?
Joining me now is a governor whose state has endured the brunt of the Biden-Harris border crises.
Oh, fuck off.
We want to say thank you for being here to Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Sir, thank you. Governor, here we go again. Democrat party bosses pushing completely unqualified and demonstrated failures for the Democrat ticket. Your thoughts?
I'm sorry, did you just call the vice president unqualified? What?
On this, sir.
It's important.
I feel like there's borderline no governmental job that would prepare you for the presidency more than being the vice president.
For Americans to understand that the biggest crisis we have in our country right now is the open border. We have more than 10 million people cross the border illegally.
It's not open, though. It's not? You know how we have, like, laws against crossing it? And then also, like, checkpoints and stuff? So it's not. What are you talking about? They have people patrol it? What are you talking about?
We have terrorists, rapists, murderers coming across our border. You see crime across cities, across the entire country. And
wow, it seems like you're doing a really bad job in your state about some of those crime issues then. That's a weird admission. Okay, then.
Architect of that